Sleeping in a freezing car should, by all accounts, be a death sentence within a matter of hours. Your core body temperature would plummet, leading your vital organs to progressively shut down. And yet, against all odds, thousands of individuals experiencing homelessness manage to survive entire winters in unheated vehicles. They aren't relying on conventional heaters, thick blankets, or any of the usual comforts you might imagine. So, what hidden knowledge do they possess that even seasoned survival experts often overlook? Let's delve into the fascinating reality of sleeping in a car when winter bites. Here's a stark truth. Glass is an absolute traitor in the cold. Every single window in your vehicle acts like a relentless heat vampire, siphoning precious warmth out of your car all night long. A staggering 70% of the heat you generate is lost directly through those transparent panes. Your body works tirelessly, producing a respectable 80 to 100 watts of heat. An impressive feat until you realize that warmth is escaping through the glass faster than your internal furnace can create it. So what ingenious solutions have experienced car sleepers devised? They construct what they affectionately call a coffin. Not a literal one, of course, but they cleverly acquire rigid foam insulation board from hardware stores and meticulously cut them to fit every single window opening with absolute precision. It's like assembling a life-saving jigsaw puzzle. The truly remarkable part is that this deceptively simple trick can elevate the interior temperature of their vehicle by a significant 15 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. No complex heater, no running engine, just humble foam and the power of applied physics. These resourceful individuals refer to this setup as stealth mode because, once installed, no one can peer inside their makeshift dwelling. You gain both crucial warmth and invaluable privacy in one swift move. Quite a clever stratagem, wouldn't you agree? I've heard that some veterans of car living take this even further, permanently affixing these insulation boards with Velcro strips. They're no longer just making do. They're building a permanent solution. Their car transcends being merely a car. It transforms into a versatile micro-cabin on wheels, perfectly functional whether it's the height of July or the depth of January. But here's where the challenge gets complicated. Your breath, that constant stream of warm, moist air, has to go somewhere. In a tightly sealed car, that moisture finds no escape route. By morning, everything inside is drenched. Your windows are coated in frost, your blankets feel clammy, and even your dignity seems to take a hit. One individual I spoke with vividly described it as waking up inside a cloud that absolutely hates you. The human body releases roughly 1 full pint of water vapor every single night just from breathing in an airtight, confined space. That level of moisture is a surefire recipe for soggy misery. However, when it's a biting 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside and you simply don't have the funds for a motel room, being soggy is undeniably preferable to being frozen solid every single time. Some creative car sleepers adapt their setup by leaving one tiny corner of a window unsealed, allowing for a minimal amount of airflow. Others simply resign themselves to the morning moisture situation, accepting it as an unavoidable part of the deal. A small price to pay, they reason, for not transforming into a human popsicle. The foam coffin method is undeniably effective. It's been proven it's incredibly inexpensive and it works. Yet, merely blocking heat loss is only half of the survival equation. What if you could actively generate more warmth from within your own body? Here's the critical insight about surviving a freezing night in your car. Insulation, while vital, will only get you halfway to safety. The true, most reliable heat source is you, your very own body. And some homeless car sleepers have brilliantly figured out how to hack their metabolism, essentially turning it into a programmable internal furnace. The key, they've discovered, lies in fat, not carbohydrates, not protein, but pure, dense fat. Roughly 30 to 60 minutes before they plan to sleep, experienced car dwellers consume calorie-dense items like peanut butter straight from the jar, substantial hunks of cheese, or canned sardines. It might sound like an unconventional midnight snack, right? but there's genuine physiological science backing this practice. Digesting fat actually produces significantly more body heat than breaking down carbohydrates. This process is scientifically known as thermogenesis. Essentially, your digestive system expends greater effort to metabolize fatty foods, and that additional metabolic activity directly generates warmth. You are quite literally converting your stomach into a personal space heater. Now, here's where their strategy becomes truly ingenious. These individuals carefully time their fuel load so that the peak heat production from digestion coincides precisely with the coldest hours of the night, typically around 2 or 3 a.m. That's the dreaded window when ambient temperatures drop to their absolute lowest point. It's also the time when hypothermia stealthily creeps up on unsuspecting individuals. By eating strategically, these resourceful people are aligning their body's internal heat output with the most dangerous, coldest period of the night, providing 4 to 6 hours of slow-burning, internal warmth from just a single, well-timed meal. Not a bad return for a $2 jar of Skippy peanut butter. But what about alcohol? It certainly makes you feel warm, doesn't it? That, however, is the single worst mistake you could possibly make. Alcohol causes your blood vessels to dilate, drawing warm blood to the surface of your skin. This creates a temporary sensation of coziness for about 20 minutes. After that brief illusion, you begin radiating heat into the frigid air like a severely broken radiator. Tragic stories exist of people who succumb to the cold, convinced that a swig of whiskey would save them. Military survival training actually incorporates this precise eating for warmth concept. Arctic expeditions have relied on it for decades, and today, it's considered standard knowledge within online car sleeping forums. Some dedicated sleepers even rouse themselves at 3 or 4 a.m. for a second, small intake of fat. This is just enough to kickstart their metabolic furnace once more without forcing them to fully emerge from the warmth of their sleeping bag. A handful of almonds or a spoonful of coconut oil does the trick. It's pretty ingenious when you truly consider the circumstances. However, even a perfectly optimized metabolism can only accomplish so much when external temperatures plummet to extreme lows. That's precisely when the 3 a.m. engine strategy becomes absolutely critical for survival. Here's a crucial fact about the cold. It doesn't strike hardest at midnight. It cunningly waits. The absolute coldest moment of the night typically occurs between 3 and 4 a.m. Your body is acutely aware of this, even if your conscious brain isn't. Your core temperature naturally dips to its lowest point during these pre-dawn hours, and your metabolism inherently slows down. If you're sleeping in a car without any active heating, this is the perilous moment when hypothermia ceases to be an abstract medical term and transforms into a very real, immediate possibility. So, what do experienced car sleepers do to counter this? They set alarms. It sounds utterly ridiculous, doesn't it? Waking yourself up in the deepest part of the night just to run your engine for 15 minutes. But it unequivocally works. This isn't a random act. The timing is meticulously calculated. You're strategically introducing that burst of engine heat precisely when your body is at its most vulnerable. A mere 15 minutes of warm air during that critical danger window can effectively carry you through the remaining hours until sunrise. It's akin to giving your body a crucial thermal reset button just when it needs it most. Now, let's consider the practical economics of this strategy. Running a car engine for 15 minutes consumes roughly 0.2 gallons of gasoline. At current fuel prices, that translates to approximately 70 cents. For someone meticulously budgeting every single dollar, that constitutes a very real expense. However, it is an infinitely cheaper alternative than a potentially life-threatening hospital visit for severe frostbite or hypothermia. Yet, this is also where the situation can become gravely serious. Approximately 430 Americans tragically die every year from carbon monoxide poisoning inside vehicles. Most of these individuals simply fell asleep with their engine running, a silent, invisible killer, as it's often called. You cannot smell carbon monoxide as it accumulates, giving no warning. You simply drift off to sleep and, tragically, never wake up. Experienced car dwellers have consequently developed ingenious countermeasures. They often park facing downhill, ensuring that exhaust fumes are carried away from the vehicle by gravity. Others strategically position their cars into the prevailing wind for the very same reason, to disperse the exhaust. Some even consciously crack a window during these warming sessions, a seemingly counterproductive action, but one that could save a life. And there's one absolutely critical warning sign that every car sleeper learns to instantly recognize. If you stop shivering, you're not getting warmer. You are in deep, profound trouble. Shivering is your body's innate, desperate attempt to fight back against the cold, to generate internal heat. When that physiological battle ceases, that's the precise moment you absolutely need engine heat, not 5 minutes from now, but immediately. The metabolic warmth from dinner provides a baseline, and insulation offers crucial protection, but sometimes you need actual, active heat. What you definitely don't need is a dead battery. And that's where ingenuity truly shines with reflective materials. Enter emergency Mylar blankets. You know, those crinkly, shiny silver sheets that make you look like you're wrapping yourself in an oversized baked potato? They boast an incredible ability to reflect 97% of your body heat right back at you. But here's the common mistake that most people make. They wrap themselves up like a burrito, assuming that's the extent of their utility. Car sleepers, however, have uncovered a far more intelligent application. They meticulously tape the Mylar to the ceiling of their vehicle. Why the ceiling? Because heat rises. Your body continuously pumps out warmth throughout the night, and that warm air naturally floats straight up toward the roof. And what is your car's roof typically constructed from? Uninsulated sheet metal. In freezing weather, that uninsulated roof transforms into a colossal heat vampire, relentlessly sucking every last bit of precious warmth right out of your car. By taping Mylar to the ceiling, you effectively create a heat mirror directly above your sleeping area. The warm air rises, hits that reflective surface, and is immediately bounced right back down towards you. It's like having a personal sun shining above you, except that sun is simply your own efficiently recycled body heat. Pretty clever, right? Now, there's one small drawback. Mylar is notoriously loud. Every time you shift position, it emits a crinkling sound that can be likened to someone aggressively opening a bag of potato chips right next to your ear. For some individuals, this noise is unbearable. After just 3 nights, the relentless crinkle can drive them absolutely insane. Veteran car sleepers, however, solved this irritating problem years ago. They simply sandwich the Mylar between 2 layers of fabric, typically a cheap fleece blanket on each side. The result? Silent warmth. Then there's the equally clever windshield shade trick. Those reflective sun shades you can buy for a couple of dollars at any gas station are essentially thick Mylar with a slightly better insulating core. Simply flip them around, lay them over your blanket, and you've got an effective, budget-friendly heat reflector that won't disturb anyone with noise. Some individuals even take this concept to the extreme. They construct full-blown Mylar tents inside their vehicles, hanging sheets from the grab handles, taping the edges to the seats, thereby creating a tiny, reflective pod specifically around just their sleeping area. The brilliance here is that you're no longer attempting to heat the entire volume of the car. You are now efficiently heating a much smaller, enclosed space, roughly the size of a coffin. This makes it exponentially easier to keep warm. However, even the most sophisticated insulation cannot fully repel one insidious, invisible enemy. And it's probably not what you're imagining. Here's a timeless truth about survival. Sometimes the most effective technology is the kind your grandparents, or even great-grandparents, used. Hot water bottles. Yes, those old-fashioned rubber contraptions that look like they belong in a 1920s hospital. As it turns out, they're absolute gold for car sleepers. A well-constructed rubber hot water bottle releases its accumulated heat slowly and consistently over a period of 4 to 6 hours. This essentially functions as a gentle, passive heater that requires zero electricity, makes no noise whatsoever, and costs maybe $8 at a local pharmacy. Not bad for something your great-grandmother very likely owned and used. But here's where astute car dwellers take this simple tool to a new level of ingenuity. Gas station microwaves. Most stations provide them for heating up burritos and those often questionable hot dogs. By purchasing a coffee and politely asking, you can heat water in a microwave-safe bottle. The transaction costs nothing extra, and staff members typically don't mind. Now, strategic placement of these bottles matters far more than you might initially think. Simply slapping a hot bottle against your feet feels pleasant, but it's remarkably inefficient for overall body warming. The real trick is to place it against major blood vessels, areas like the inner thighs, armpits, or stomach. Your circulating blood then efficiently carries that warmth throughout your entire body, effectively transforming your circulatory system into a self-contained heat distribution network. Pretty smart for something that superficially resembles a deflated balloon, right? A 2-liter bottle filled with 150-degree Fahrenheit water contains enough thermal energy to keep a sleeping bag noticeably warm for the majority of a cold night. We're talking about 5 to 6 hours of genuine, sustained warmth from something you could easily acquire at any convenience store. Some particularly savvy car sleepers even employ relay systems, using multiple bottles. When one bottle starts to cool down around 2 a.m., they swap it out for another that has been pre-wrapped in towels to retain its heat longer. It's like having a dedicated pit crew for your sleep setup. While traditional rubber bottles are still used, many have transitioned to Nalgene bottles. Nalgene bottles offer distinct advantages. They're virtually leak-proof, and they can safely handle boiling water without warping or compromising their integrity. And here's an added bonus. By morning, you have perfectly temperate drinking water available. It's a dual-purpose solution, and car dwellers absolutely adore anything that accomplishes 2 jobs with one item. Simple? Absolutely. Effective? Surprisingly so. However, the warmth generated by bottles only goes so far if you're parked in a suboptimal location. And where you choose to park, that's an intricate chess game with stakes far higher than you'd ever anticipate. In fact, your parking spot might matter more for your survival than the quality of your sleeping gear. Hospital parking garages, for instance, typically maintain an ambient temperature that is 20 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than outdoor lots. All those cars constantly coming and going, their engines running, combined with the residual heat radiating from the hospital building itself, create a microclimate. It's essentially free heating that nobody needs to ask permission to use. Underground structures are even more effective. Here's the underlying reason. The Earth, just a few feet below the surface, maintains a remarkably stable temperature of approximately 55 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. It makes no difference whether it's the dead of January or the height of July up above ground. That underground parking garage is essentially borrowing the planet's natural thermostat. But my absolute personal favorite trick involved parking strategically against the exterior wall of a 24-hour laundromat. Those powerful industrial dryers run continuously all night long, transforming the building's backside into a giant, radiating heat source. You are, in essence, cuddling up against a warm brick wall without having to pay for a single load of laundry yourself. Now, here's where the situation can become legally and socially complex. Police knock and wake. Policies vary dramatically depending on the specific city you find yourself in. Some officers will gently tap on your window, inquire if you're all right, and then simply drive off. Others, however, will issue you a ticket or even compel you to move along before you've even had a chance to wipe the sleep from your eyes. Same country, but entirely different rules and enforcement. And then there's the unique phenomenon of Walmart. Their well-known overnight parking permission for RVs and weary travelers has inadvertently fostered the creation of entire transient communities. You'll observe the same cars occupying the same spots night after night. People recognize each other. They wave a greeting. It's like a neighborhood, except everyone's primary address happens to have wheels. Smart car sleepers, however, never allow themselves to get too comfortable in any single location. They meticulously rotate between 3 or 4 carefully chosen, safe spots throughout the week. Monday might find them at the hospital, Wednesday behind the laundromat, and Friday in the Walmart lot. Why go through all this trouble? Because humans are hardwired as pattern recognition machines. Security guards notice. Neighbors notice. And that concerned citizen who decides to call the police, they most definitely notice patterns. Staying invisible in this context means staying unpredictable. Some veteran car sleepers maintain elaborate mental maps of every tolerant location within a 20-mile radius. They possess an intimate knowledge of which businesses have more relaxed security protocols on weekends, which residential streets are mercifully free of busybody homeowners associations, and which church parking lots genuinely practice the hospitality their doctrines preach. Finding warmth is undeniably one critical battle, but even the most perfectly chosen parking spot means absolutely nothing if you lack the means to power the heating tools that make survival possible. Now, this is where things truly get fascinating, because some car sleepers have, out of sheer necessity, essentially become self-taught electrical engineers. Heated car seat cushions, originally designed for long-haul truckers, can operate for 8 hours or more on a single marine deep cycle battery. We're talking about a minimal power draw of only 3 to 4 amps. That's less electricity than your refrigerator light consumes. And these cushions weren't specifically manufactured for homeless individuals. They were made for professional drivers who spend weeks living in their truck cabs. But as the saying goes, if the shoe fits. Then there's the clever construction worker hack. Milwaukee and DeWalt power tool batteries have inadvertently given rise to an entire survival ecosystem. Heated jackets, heated vests, and heated blankets, all running on the very same powerful batteries that operate drills and saws on a job site. A carpenter might not consciously realize it, but his daily work gear has effectively transformed into vital homeless survival equipment. Life, indeed, has a strange and often ironic way of unfolding sometimes. But my personal favorite innovation among these is the USB-powered heating pad. These unassuming little devices draw a mere 5 watts of power, roughly the same amount needed to charge your smartphone. You simply slip one inside your sleeping bag, strategically position it near your body's core, and suddenly you have targeted, comforting warmth for mere pennies worth of electricity. It's like having a professional heating pad at the doctor's office, except your office happens to be a 2004 Honda Civic. Portable power stations have completely revolutionized the game. Brands like Jackery can continuously power various heating elements for 2 or even 3 nights between charges. While not cheap up front, when you calculate the nightly cost of motel versus a single $200 battery purchase, the financial logic becomes glaringly obvious very quickly. And here's the often overlooked aspect that nobody talks about. Where do you actually recharge all this essential gear? Public libraries. Genius, isn't it? Car sleepers discreetly spend hours during the day, engrossed in reading, while their batteries quietly replenish at an available outlet under a desk. This provides free electricity, free warmth, and you might even accidentally absorb some fascinating facts about the Byzantine Empire while you're at it. But all this ingenious electrical wizardry inadvertently creates one massive, unforeseen problem that most people never truly consider. The more hermetically sealed and warm your car becomes, the greater the accumulation of moisture inside. And that moisture, chillingly, is where things can become truly dangerous. Here's where the situation becomes profoundly uncomfortable, and I mean that in the most literal sense. Every single night, a sleeping person exhales approximately 1 pint of water vapor. 1 pint. That's equivalent to literally breathing out a small water bottle while you're dreaming. Now, imagine trapping all that moisture inside a completely sealed car with virtually no ventilation. By morning, you awaken not in a cozy space, but in what feels like an ice cave. Frost will visibly cover the entire inside surface of every window. Your once dry sleeping bag feels damp and clammy. The ceiling of your car begins to drip incessantly, as if you're camping beneath a perpetually leaky roof. And here's the insidious real problem. Wet insulation can lose up to 40% of its crucial warming ability. So, that expensive, high-performance sleeping bag you diligently saved for is now only operating at a mere 60% of its capacity. That's a truly dire situation when the outside temperature is a frigid 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Experienced car sleepers, fully aware of this pervasive issue, hoard silica gel packets as if they were precious gold bars. Those tiny do-not-eat pouches found in shoe boxes, beef jerky bags, or electronics packaging become pure, invaluable treasure. Some individuals collect dozens of them, meticulously scattering them throughout their car, then rotating them out for drying when they become completely saturated. My grandfather used to wisely remark that moisture was a house's worst enemy. As it turns out, it's an equally formidable nemesis for a car sleeper. Damp-rid, rigid containers, specifically designed for musty RV closets, have become standard, indispensable equipment. They sit quietly in cup holders, passively drawing humidity from the circulating air. It's certainly not glamorous, but it is undeniably effective. Then there's the survival crack technique. You carefully crack a window open by precisely 1/4 inch. This provides just enough airflow to prevent severe condensation, but crucially, not enough to cause significant heat loss. It sounds inherently counterintuitive, doesn't it? Intentionally letting cold air in to actually stay warmer? But it works because physics often operates in peculiar ways. Some clever car dwellers also get creative with their dashboard vents. Before settling down to sleep, they meticulously point all the vents upward, even without actively running the heat. This simple action creates subtle air circulation channels that keep moisture gently moving instead of allowing it to settle and condense on surfaces. The condensation battle, it must be said, never truly ends. It's a relentless nightly war waged between your own breath and the unforgiving laws of thermodynamics. But efficiently managing moisture is only half of the equation, because even in a perfectly dry car, heat manages to escape in subtle, sneaky ways that most people never consider. And that, precisely, is where the concept of air gap engineering fundamentally changes everything. Most people mistakenly assume that you require expensive, high-tech materials to stay truly warm. They envision thick, luxurious down sleeping bags, fancy, purpose-built insulation, and premium outdoor gear. But that assumption is profoundly wrong. The true secret isn't about what materials you buy. It's about what you effectively trap. Air gaps. Veteran car sleepers independently discovered something that thermal engineers have understood for decades. The finest insulator on the planet is entirely free. It is the very air itself, but only when that air remains perfectly still. Moving air relentlessly steals your body heat away. Trapped, stagnant air, on the other hand, efficiently keeps it. So, instead of relying on one single, thick sleeping bag, astute car dwellers layer multiple thinner blankets. Each individual layer creates a discrete pocket of motionless, dead air. 3 inexpensive fleece throws, for example, will consistently outperform one single, expensive sleeping bag. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And the astonishing part is how empty backpacks are strategically stuffed around the body to fill voids. Spare clothing bags are wedged into gaps near the doors. Some individuals even go so far as to inflate empty trash bags and meticulously wedge them into the footwells. It sounds utterly ridiculous, but it works incredibly well. Here's why this seemingly odd practice matters so much. Cold air is inherently heavier than warm air. It sinks and inevitably pools at the lowest points in your car, which is typically right where your feet are located. So, all that frigid, heavy air simply sits there, insidiously stealing warmth right through the floorboards. But if you effectively fill that dead space with literally anything, old pillows, wadded up newspapers, whatever you have on hand, you effectively block that cold pooling effect. Then there's the vertical game. Some sleepers ingeniously suspend blankets from the car's grab handles, creating hanging walls between themselves and the cold windows. This prevents heat from bleeding sideways directly toward the glass. It's essentially like constructing a smaller, inner tent within your existing car tent. I personally experimented with this once during a particularly cold winter camping trip. I simply hung a cheap fleece blanket from the dome light. The immediate effect was as if I'd suddenly installed a small furnace in my tent. The temperature difference was absolutely startling. This entire approach cleverly mimics how sophisticated mountaineering tents function in sub-zero conditions. They don't rely on using thicker fabrics. Instead, they employ multiple layers of material with strategically placed air gaps between them. It's the same fundamental principle, simply applied to a different context. The ultimate goal isn't to add bulk. It is to meticulously eliminate all unwanted air movement. Every single draft you successfully stop represents heat you successfully keep. But here's what almost nobody will tell you about trying to stay warm alone in a car. Sometimes, the most effective heating system isn't rooted in engineering at all. The stark reality is that nobody truly survives an entire winter alone in a car. The smartest car sleepers recognized this fundamental truth years ago. During dangerously cold snaps, two people will share one vehicle. It's simple mathematics. Two bodies produce double the heat output. You go from a baseline of 80 watts to a robust 160 watts of heat within a sealed space. That crucial difference can literally be the distinction between enduring a rough, uncomfortable night and ending up in a hospital with severe hypothermia. But here's the deeper insight that most people completely miss. It's not just about the physical warmth. Car pairing fosters vital survival networks. These informal communities meticulously check on each other at dawn every single morning. And if someone fails to respond to a check-in, that missed communication triggers immediate welfare searches. People genuinely go out looking for their fellow car dwellers. In a world that often overlooks and ignores homeless individuals, it's profoundly significant to know that someone will notice if you don't wake up. Now, let's talk about arguably the most primal survival partners, dogs. A medium-sized dog can produce approximately 50 watts of heat. That's akin to having a small, furry space heater that also serves the invaluable function of barking at potential threats. They are, in essence, biological alarm systems elegantly wrapped in fur. And honestly, for many, they provide better companionship and unwavering loyalty than most people I've encountered. The buddy system also serves another critical purpose. One person typically stays semi-conscious or on a lighter sleep cycle throughout the night. They can monitor for external dangers and, if necessary, restart the engine during critical emergencies. Two sets of eyes and two sets of ears provide exponentially greater security. Mutual aid groups have taken this concept even further. They've developed what they call cold call phone trees. Volunteers diligently send 2 a.m. text check-ins to known car sleepers during dangerously freezing nights. A simple "Are you okay?" message sent at that critical hour might very well save a life. And the truly remarkable, almost weird, part is that the psychological warmth derived from companionship matters just as profoundly as the physical heat. Isolation during long, cold nights can quickly spiral into severe depression. Companion sleeping effectively breaks that destructive cycle. Simply having another heartbeat nearby changes everything. So what are the overarching lessons we've gleaned from these extraordinary individuals? Successfully sleeping in a freezing car isn't about discovering one singular, magical solution. It's a complex, multifaceted strategy that involves meticulously crafted insulation boards, metabolic hacks to generate internal heat, and strategically timed engine runs. It's about cleverly utilizing Mylar blankets and traditional hot water bottles, alongside engaging in a high-stakes parking spot chess game. It encompasses diligent moisture management, ingenious air gap engineering, and, perhaps most crucially, the profound act of looking out for each other. Humans are astonishingly creative and adaptable when the brutal demands of survival are thrust upon them. These techniques aren't merely improvised, homeless hacks. They are sophisticated, elegant engineering solutions born directly from acute necessity. And frankly, that is profoundly impressive.